Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing an in-depth video on the P10FG receiver alongside with the DDF350 transmitter. So previously I made a video about them, but this video just could be on the breakdown of all the features and everything important about it. So let's just get right into it. I'll be showing you guys all the channels. First channel is the servo channel, steering. Second channel is the throttle. The third channel is whatever you want it to be. Also the fourth channel. This right here is the knob channel. Channel 5 and channel 6 right here. Channel 7 is like a adjustable like throttle. If you want to make an adjustable throttle of like 20% to 50%, you can use this right here, this button right here. Also we got channel 8, channel 9, and channel 10 right here. I'm a bit disappointed. They could have put like a cap here so they can block the USB-C and I believe some like an earphone port. I don't know what that is, but yeah. I also went ahead and put a small LiPo battery. This one seemed to fit. The rest I used unfortunately didn't fit. For example, this one right here I wanted to use. It's too large, so I had to sacrifice a 1/16 RC car battery, so it works. I also have to solder it a bit right here, so it works perfectly. There you go. Right here it shows us the battery voltage, the channel states. If I press channel 4, it'll show if it's on or not. Channel 3, same thing. And right here we got the different channel values right here. It shows us all the channel values, and then throttle. And right here it shows us the name of the model right here. I'll change the name so you guys can see how to do it. And also this is the exit voltage right here. It says there's none. So let me show you what you to do to add a voltage telemetry. So right here we have a battery minus and plus. So it came with this plug right here. So if we put this on battery minus and we plug it into the battery's balance cord right here, and then we turn it on. There you go. It shows us the exit voltage. So for example, if I do a throttle, the exit voltage will go lower, which is normal. And then the servo, we can change the endpoints right here. So if we go right here, we can also like change the, you see how the servo is moving? Yeah, so that can also help if the steering is a bit too much or not. But also if that doesn't work, there's also different steering options. So if we go here, let's start with the general menu. Here we got the different values over here. Right here we can adjust the steering. So if we go right here, and if we press it, it's reversed. Do the same for the motor right here. Right now it's going clockwise. We go right here, it's gonna go counterclockwise. And also you can do the same for the channels, but right now I don't have anything else in the channels. So, and then next we have steering endpoints. So right now it's going 100%. I can go less right here. See, it won't churn as much now. But if I go even go back to 100, it can turn a lot more. So let's just go all the way down to like 10. See, look, it's not even turning much. Very little. So you can adjust the endpoints like that. So you, it's important to adjust the endpoints on an RC car, because if you If you leave it too high, you can damage the servo. So next we got double ratio. So double ratio means like dual rates, like how much steering or throttle you have to travel with. So steering DR right here, think of it as like a sensitive, like how sensitive you want it. So right here, let's go back over here. Let's go to like the most sensitive. Let's try K10. It's a bit complicated, but let's wait for the motor to pair. Okay, so now it's paired. It's how sensitive you want it. Let's go to VR6. I personally wouldn't change this because it doesn't do much, but it's just there to have it, you know. Double ratio is basically dual rates. It controls how much steering and throttle you travel the car uses without changing endpoints. So steering DR changes how tight the car can turn, and throttle DR changes how aggressive the power is. So these like K3, K4, and K8 and 9, these buttons are just the shortcut buttons on the remote so that you can assign them to switch between DR levels. So in these 1, 2, and 3 numbers that say like 100%, which I changed, these those are 3 DR profiles. You can set each one to a different percentage and switch them while driving. Over here we have the sub trims. So I usually only use this for the servo, but you can use this for whatever you want. It adjusts the servo angle. Yeah, basically. And you can do it all for all the channels. Yeah, you can just mess around with it if you want. So over here on page 6 out of 8, aux channel. This page is where you assign switches or buttons on the remote like K3, K4 to K10 to control any of the auxiliary channels like channel 3 or channel 4. So when you see letters like C, B, or +0 and +100 besides the K buttons, it basically means like C is a 3-position switch, B is a 2-position switch, and +0, +100, -100, that's like the output value of the aux, which will move when you press that button. So for example, if K7 says B plus 0, that means that K7 is set as a 2-position switch. And so when you press it, it sends the aux channel to +0 or +100 depending on the switch position. Now I'm on page 7 out of 8, key type. So this is where you choose how each button on the remote works, like K3, K4, K8, K9, and K10. So there are 4 modes you can pick from: self-locking, momentary, 3-speed, and 4-speed. So momentary, this only works while you're holding the button. As soon as you let go, it goes back to normal. So good for horns, winches, or camera triggers, stuff like that. 3-speed, this button cycles through the 3 positions, low, middle, and high. That works with things like 3-position lights or shifting transmission like 3 gears. And same idea for 4-speed, but the 4 steps instead of 3. So it cycles through 4 output levels. So self-locking is you toggle press on and press off again. Momentary, it only activates while holding. 3-speed cycles through 3 values like -100, 0, and +100. 4-speed cycles through 4 values like -100, -33, +33, or +100. So page 8 is called remapping. So it just means you can choose which button or switch on your remote controls each channel. So right now channel 3 is controlled by the K3 button, and channel 4 is controlled by the K4 button. But you can change it, like you can scroll down right here to any of the ones you want, switches, knobs, or your remote can assign them to any channel. So basically this menu lets you decide which button does what, so you can set it to however you like it. Think of it like customizing your video game controls. You're just deciding what each button does. Next, we're going into model menu. Okay, so on page 1, there's cruise control. This can be assigned to a button or a knob to keep the car moving at a set speed automatically. So right now it's assigned to K4, and the control knob is VR6. You can pick VR5 or keep it at null, which is nothing, and which means nothing is assigned for it. So on mode, you can pick from mode 1 or mode 2. Right now I'm on mode 2 right now. And mode 2 is like a speed, so it just shows how fast the throttle responds in this mode. So mine is set at -20, which means the car is a bit slower or softer. On channel 2%, right there, so it's the percentage, and this tells you the starting throttle position for this mode. So mine is set to 0%, so the car won't move until you pull the trigger. So page 2 is the steering curve. So this is where you can change how your steering responds when you turn the wheel. So right now it's turned off, so the steering goes straight from left to right evenly. You also have preset 1, 2, and 3, which are saved curves, so you can use it if you want different steering feels. So there's also points you see like point 1, which is -3, point 2, -7, 67, and all the way to point 10, which is 83. And it shows you how far the wheel is turned for each step of your steering input. So for example, negative numbers are left turns, positive numbers are right turns. So if you set a curve, you can make the steering softer around the middle or stronger at the ends. So steering curve controls how sensitive the steering is at the different points. Off is normal or even steering. Presets are saved curves you can pick. And points are numbers for left-right turns. You can change them for softer or stronger steering. So negative for the points are left, and positive are right turns. So page 3 is basically the same as the previous page, but it's for throttle and brake curve. So this works kind of like the steering curve, but a little different. So right now it's turned off, which means the throttle and brake respond evenly from the trigger. You also have preset 1, 2, and 3, which are saved curves that you can use if you want different throttle and brake behavior. The points from 1 to 10, it shows how the car responds to your trigger at different levels. So lower points are light trigger pull, higher points are full trigger. If you set a curve, you can also accelerate the car at first and then faster at the end. Or you want to make the braking gentle or stronger depending on how you want it. So basically the throttle/brake curve lets you customize how your car responds to your trigger. So you can set smoother control or more aggressive or lighter braking. So page 4 is basically a gyro mix menu. So this is used for when you have the gyro enabled. So which helps to stabilize the steering and keeps the car from oversteering. So enable key is the button which you switch and press for gyro on and off. So I can change the gyro on and off if I press like channel 3, for example. I can turn on gyro. I press it again to turn it off. So it's pretty nice. So the current value is set to 50, which controls how much gyro affects steering. The higher the number, the stronger the gyro correction is. On channel 8, right here, it shows that it's at -100%, which is the maximum correction the gyro will apply in the direction. So basically this page lets you turn on the gyro on and off and adjust how strong it is, so giving you more control over steering stability. So page 5 is the tank mix menu. This is used for tank style steering setups where the left and right tracks or wheels move independently. So right now the tank mix is turned off, so it's not affecting the car. So you'll see things like the front ratio. It controls how much the front wheels respond. Mine is at +100. Left ratio controls the left side. Mine shows +100, which in some setups it might be negative. So the right ratio controls the right side. Mine is at +100. And the brake ratio controls how the braking is applied on each side, and mine's +100. The negative numbers, like the left ratio is -51%. It means the wheels or tracks on that side move in the opposite direction or slower. Basically, this page lets you customize each side of the car and how it moves for precise tank or dual track steering control. Most people leave it off unless they're running a tank style setup. Tank style setups don't usually run servos, so you just use dual motors usually. So page 6 is the winch mix menu. So this is for controlling a winch or similar device to it. So on my car right now, it's turned off since I don't have a winch. So a rise key, the button that says rise key, this button makes the winch pull up. So mine is set to K3. The drop key is the button that makes the winch let out the rope. So mine is at K4. Channel 3 is rising ratio, how fast the winch pulls in when you press the rise key. Mine is at plus 100, which means full speed. Stop, this is the neutral position where your winch doesn't move, and it's at plus 0. Decline ratio. So this is how fast the winch lets out the rope when you press the drop key. Mine is at negative 100, which means at full speed in reverse. So basically, this page lets you assign buttons on your control for your winch, and lets you control how fast and it goes in and out. Page 7, this is the 4-wheel steering menu. This is used if your car has steering on both the front and rear wheels. Right now it's turned off, so only the front wheel steering. This is usually used for crawlers, but I'm just giving you an example if you have a crawler or not. So NOR key, this button right here is to turn the 4-wheel steering on normally. Mine is at null, which means no button is assigned, but you can pick any button from K3 to K10. The reverse key, the button to reverse the 4-wheel steering direction. Mine is also at null, but can be assigned similarly. On the numbers that you see, they show how each wheel moves. So channel 1, right now it's at negative 51%. This is the rear steering angle compared to the front end. The negative means it steers in the opposite direction. Channel 4 is at negative 100%. Another channel affecting the steering, left ratio and right ratio are at 100. So this shows how much the left and right wheels move relative to the control. Basically, this menu lets you turn on the 4-wheel steering and reverse it, and just how much the rear wheels move. But most people leave it off unless their car supports it. So page 8 is the program mix menu. This lets you mix 2 channels together, so one control can affect another if you want special setups. Right now it's turned off, so nothing is happening. N key is the button that would turn the mix control on. Mine is at null, which means no button is assigned. But you could pick any button from K3 to K10. There's also an on and off switch right next to it. Mine is off. The letters show which channels are involved. M, channel 1 is set to 51% / negative 51%. This is how much channel 1 moves in the mix. S is channel 2 at 0%, which how much channel 2 moves in the mix. Reverse plus 100 flips the direction of the mix if needed. And NOR is plus 100, which is the normal direction for the mix. Basically, this is a page for advanced users who want one control to affect another. Most people leave it off unless they need a custom mix setup. Page 9 is the program mix 2. This works like the program mix on page 8, but it's a second slot, so you can set it to another mix if you need it. Right now it's turned off, so nothing is active. N key is the button that would turn this mix on. Mine is at null, which means no button is assigned. There's also on and off switch right next to it. Mine is off. So the letters show which channels are involved. M is channel 1 set to negative 51%, and it shows how much channel 1 moves in the mix. S is channel 2 for me, and it's set to 0%. It shows how much channel moves in the mix. Rev is at plus 100, which flips the direction of the mix if needed. NOR is at plus 100, which is the normal direction. This is just another mix you can turn on if you want to control to affect another. Most people have it off unless they really need it for advanced setups. Page 10 is a servo swing control. This controls how fast your servos move from one position to another, which can make steering or other functions smoother. Right now it's turned off, so servos move instantly. Mode, there are 2 modes you can pick, but I'm on mode 1. But there's also mode 2. Switch, this is the button that activates servo swing control. Mine is set to K10, but you can go all the way down to K3. Speed, this lets you assign a knob or control to adjust servo speed. Mine is VR5, but it could be VR6 or none. The numbered values like 1 equals 0.0 seconds or 2 1.2 seconds. This shows how long the servo takes to move between positions. Lower numbers equal faster movement. Higher numbers equal slower, smoother movement. A and B, these are to adjust the start and end points from servo swing. Mine are set to -10 and 100. Channel 10 is -100%. This is the output channel being controlled. Status is turned off, so nothing is happening right now. Basically, this page lets you smooth out servo movement, which is useful if you want gentler steering or slow motion control on servos. Next, we have transmitter settings. On page 1 through 5, we have model settings. So this is where you can select the model you want. Right now I'm on model 6, or I can go to my fast RC car model. But right now I'm just going to model 6 for a demonstration. Right here, I could rename the model. As you guys can see, there's a total of only 12 characters, so if you want to make a model name, you can only use 12 characters. So 12 characters including the spaces. And right here, we can copy the model and paste the model, and we can also reset the model right here. So page 2 out of 5 is the coaching model. So this is used if you want the remote to help you train or monitor your driving. So output versus input, mine is set to output, which means the remote shows or controls data going to the car. Input would show data coming from the car. So timer, this would track how long you would have been driving, but it's just a setting here. And trigger priming, mine is off. This would let the trigger start automatically in certain training modes. Start button, mine is in null, meaning no button is assigned to the start timer or the session. Stop/reset button is also null, no button assigned to stop or reset. LED mode, mine is dynamic, which means the LEDs on the remote change based on the coaching data. For example, if I churn, it'll work, but if I switch to bright, the lights will always be on right here. And if I go to close, it's turned off. No lights and no LEDs will be on. But for now, I like dynamic. Page 3 out of 5, we have sound settings. So this right here, power on/off sound. So if you turn off the remote, there won't be a sound when you turn it off. So let's turn it off real quick, and let me show you guys with it off. See, there's no sound. I personally like it when there's a sound, so I'm gonna go back. Let's turn it back on. Tone type, we can make it alarm only. See, if I scroll through here, you can't hear anything, only alarm. And I can completely mute so that there's no sounds at all. But I like all. And then brightness, we can go all the way up to 110 or all the way down to 10. I personally like 80. For me, that's the sweet spot. And then auto off, I have it turned off. But you can make it go auto off in like 10 minutes, 30 minutes if you're not using the remote. Page 4 out of 5, we have the power settings. So right here we have the idle alarm. This just shows if you're idling, it'll have an alarm in 15 minutes if you're not using the remote. But I like it on 15. Auto off, idle after 5 minutes. Battery type, I'm running a 2S right now, or you could be running AA's or a 3S LiPo battery. Voltage alarm, this is if your battery goes all the way to 4.5 volts, the voltage alarm will start ringing to know that your battery voltage is too low. Right now I'm on 8 volts, it says. And then voltage calibration is on 8 volts. Over here we got the calibration settings. We have steering, we have throttle, and we have buttons. I'll show you guys the steering calibration right now. So it says to move the handle to the far left, which is right here. Far right, which is right here. And then center position, and then we press OK. And there you go. The steering is calibrated. You guys got to be careful for when you guys do like the throttle, because if you do it wrong, you can have like a runaway. Your car will just be running away from you. So you guys have to be careful with that. Next, we have the receiver settings. Now I'm in the receiver RF protocol settings. This basically shows how it controls how fast your remote talks to the receiver. Right now I'm on normal, which I recommend for everyone, but you can go to fast, which will talk to the receiver faster. But I personally would just leave it on normal. On page 2 out of 2 in the receiver settings, I have gyro turned on, which helps for if you're going high speeds on an RC car. Gyro helps for stability. And then we have phase. So phase, this controls the direction the gyro affects the steering. I usually just leave it on the default unless the gyro is moving the wheels the wrong way. The send channel is mine set to channel 8, which means the gyro is sending correction signals through channel 8 to the car. Send percent, mine is showing 8%, which is how much the gyro is currently affecting the steering right now, which is very light. PCA and AGS, these are advanced settings for fine tuning. Mine are at 0%, which is the default and works for normal setups. And rudder speed, mine is at 67 Hertz, which is how fast the receiver sends data. The higher the numbers mean the faster response. So it can go up to 300 Hertz. You can experiment with that, but I personally would just do it on 67 Hertz. And then GY, EPA, and FS, these are safety and calibration settings for the gyro. They are usually left at default unless you're doing advanced tuning. Finally, we have the language settings. We have 5 languages to choose from: English, Chinese, German, French, and Japanese. I hope this video was at least a little bit more helpful, or at least it didn't make things more confusing. I'm going to be using this remote on my fast RC car soon, so if you guys want to see whether it handles amazing or decides to full send itself back to the factory like it's returning itself under warranty, please consider subscribing so you guys don't miss it. I've got more testing and more RC stuff coming soon, so stick around to see how it all turns out. Thanks for watching.